So the Cold Snap event returned last week, and I have been testing out to see how good it actually is for getting blueprints. And let me tell you, it actually is still really, really good for getting those blueprints. So we're going to do 3 raids here on Buried City, 3 raids looting up in around the same spots. Now there is a couple of times we go to different locations, but you will see how insane it is for pulling out blueprints. Anyone notice what's the difference about today's stash? Yup, prepping for the next raid on my phone. This app is super useful. I can sort my stash, check my loadouts, and plan my next run without being glued to my PC. Perfect for those tiny windows of free time while I'm on break, in bed, or even in the bathroom. It's no different from operating on a computer. Low latency and high quality. You won't feel any difference when tweaking your gear or stash. It's super simple to use. Basically just one tap to connect, no complicated setup, and it works across Windows, Mac, Android and iOS, and it's completely free while it's in early access. I think every raider should get this set up before hitting raids. They have so much time, keep your stash organized, and let you focus on actually raiding instead of fussing with gear. Click the link, grab Stardesk, and check your inventory anytime, anywhere. So we have an hour here of Cold Snap on Buried City, so I'm going to want to try do 3 back-to-back runs and see how many blueprints we can pull out in that amount of time. We have spawned here next to the space travel building. It's one of my favorite buildings to go to on this map for pulling out blueprints. It's very reliable, so we're going to make our way in and get looting and see what type of loot we pull out here. So I have indeed brought a snap hook with me and a couple of stims. I always bring about 10 to 15 stims just to get around the map that a little bit quicker. So we're going to loot up this floor first, looting absolutely every single container on this floor, and then we're going to try make our way upstairs then. Okay, there's our first blueprint in the bag, blueprint number 1. Not too bad. Let's go. Right, let's just keep on looting as much containers as possible. There is indeed a massive new update coming next week, which I am very, very looking forward to. So we're going to have lots of content next week. The new Shrouded Sky update looks very good. Coming next Tuesday, bringing in hurricanes and skins and beards and all sorts of new content that I am very, very excited to get in and test out. Also have some new arc coming into the game as well. A lot of people are saying that it's some sort of dog arc. I don't know where they're getting that from, but there actually is a little bit of a snippet about 9 seconds into the trailer that you can see something flying around very quick, whether that's the new arc or not, but hopefully it is a completely new arc that we get. Right, there's another blueprint as well. That's 2 blueprints so far. I'm hoping it is a completely new type of arc and not just shredders added on to the other maps. It would be very good to fight a new type of arc. Alright, we're going to get ourselves healed up here and then we're going to keep looting up this whole building. I have also seen the devs say that there is indeed going to be some changes coming to the Queen and Matriarch, as it wasn't intended for a whole lobby to take down the Queen and the Matriarch. Which, if you've been playing Arc Raiders recently, when the whole lobby is fighting against the Queen and the Matriarch, it actually is pretty boring. It's very hard to get loot, and it also is way too easy to kill them. So I think they're going to make a couple of changes to that. Now, what sort of changes they're going to make, I have no clue. Whether to make it harder to kill the Matriarch, whether to spawn in more Arc, I don't know what way they're going to do it, but they definitely do need to make some sort of change, as people are just farming both of them main bosses. They're supposed to be super, super hard to fight. And also, I seen something as well recently where, if you've ever seen on the outside of Blue Gate, the massive Arc that roaming on the outside of the map, I don't think we're actually going to be fighting them, but I think we're actually going to be fighting inside of them. I think they're going to make a map where we're actually inside of them moving around. Alright, so we have another raider in this building with us who's also been looting it up. So we're going to have to move to a different floor here and see if that has been looted as well. If it has been looted, we're going to have to move location. One spot a lot of people tend to forget in this building is the very lower level actually has a ton of containers that does spawn in some very good loot. A lot of people tend to leave these containers out for some reason. Maybe they just don't know they're here, or they just forget about them, but there does be a lot of good loot in these containers in here. So make sure that you're always coming to this floor as well and looting up all the containers that do indeed spawn in here. 2 rooms full of containers. So we're close enough to the next expedition. I would love to hear how many blueprints you guys all have. I just need 2 more and then I'm fully done with blueprints, but I'm probably going to wipe my character, and I know full well by the time that expedition comes around, I won't find them 2 blueprints. This is always the way. I'm always like 1 or 2 blueprints off finding them all just before the expedition. But yeah, let me know down in the comments how many blueprints you have, and I'd also like to hear how many hours you have as well. It's interesting to see, because I know some people on previous videos have told me to have like 100 hours and only have like 7 or 8 blueprints. I think that's pretty crazy. 7 or 8 blueprints in 100 hours is crazy. As you see in an hour here in this video, I'll pull out more than 8 blueprints. So we have indeed moved over here towards the parking garage. I like to come into the bottom area of this building and loot it up, as there can be some good loot in there. So not only with the Cold Snap event are you going to be pulling out some good blueprints, you actually are going to be making some good money as well. That's why I like to do a lot of these runs on the Cold Snap event, because the money you're making usually is very good. Because you do indeed get the best of both worlds. So we're going to leave this area now. I would usually go into the hospital and loot it up, but it 100% has been looted. I heard a couple of shots coming from there earlier on. But I'm going to move over to this unmarked building here. It's a very good building, and sometimes you do pull out some decent blueprints out there. Alright, so we have indeed made our way across the map here. We're going to make our way into this building. Sometimes this building can be looted up very early in the game, but sometimes it actually isn't looted at all. So we're going to go in and have a look and see if we have a chance of pulling out any more blueprints on this run. So for those of you who don't know, this is the breachable room that is down the bottom of the map. I'm going to actually have all these locations marked on screen so you'll be able to see them, as I know some of you were complaining that I don't have it held up for long enough. But all the locations I will go to, I will have them up on screen. I just didn't want to do the full run of me running across the map, as there is going to be 3 runs in this video. So we got into the room, hasn't been looted, which is absolutely ideal. This is a very good room, especially on the Cold Snap event. So let's get looting up and see what we can pull out. A couple of containers here that we're going to loot up. Oh, hello, angled grip 2 blueprint, which I actually didn't have. It's been a while since I found a blueprint that I didn't have. I think the last one that I got that I didn't have was the Vita Spray blueprint. Alright, a few more containers that we're going to loot up, and then I think we're pretty good to extract. There isn't going to be much more places left that haven't been looted, which is so unfortunate. That's just where these PvE lobbies go. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on aggression-based matchmaking. Do you think that there should be a separate co-op mode instead of this aggression-based matchmaking, or do you think that the aggression-based matchmaking is the way forward? I would love to hear what the people think. Alright, that's some pretty solid loot. We're probably over about 90k in earnings here. And we also have 3 blueprints pulled out on the first run. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and extract, add up our loot, see how much we got, and we're going to hop into the next one. So we are into raid number 2 here, and we have indeed got a similar spawn, but our earnings last raid were 76,250, and we did indeed find 3 blueprints, so we're off to a pretty good start here. Right, we are going to make our way into the hospital building this time, as I really did want to loot it last raid, but it had already been looted. So we're going to go to the hospital building, and then we're going to try and make our way into the same building as the last one, into the space travel building. So let's make our way on over here, see how many blueprints we pull out. Now this hospital building actually is really good for blueprints. It's also really good for pulling out some like Vita Spray blueprints or even augments. It's well known for them type of blueprints. But let's get in, see what we find here. Let's see if we can pull out any good loot. I did indeed get a full raid, and I did indeed spawn right beside it, so that is very good. Also, I'd love to hear how many of you actually did go into the expedition in the last one, as I do know a lot of people didn't do the expedition, but I know the devs have made it a lot cheaper this time. I think it's only like 300k to do the expedition, which is a lot cheaper. There is blueprint number 1. We got the defib blueprint, classic in this hospital. It's a well-known blueprint to get in here as well, as it makes sense. You know, you're in a hospital, you're going to be pulling out some sort of medical supply blueprints, more so than anywhere else. So I like to come into this little back room here. Tons of containers in there, tons of these red containers as well, that all have some really decent loot in them. They all have a good chance of spawning some really decent loot in them. So we're going to get this building looted up as quick as possible before other raiders start making their way in. So I am indeed in here on a PvE friendly raid, as you can probably tell. That's why I'm not running around my weapon out. It's why I'm not watching corners, why I'm not fighting other raiders, because I am in on a PvE friendly raid. But this location, if you actually are in a PvP raid, you want to be careful because this is definitely a little bit of a hotspot. We're in the hospital. You have the hospital here, parking garage, and also you have the space travel building, which are well known high tier loot spots that people like to come to. So be very careful of that if you're on the PvP lobbies. So I have indeed cleared out this whole building. We're still sitting on one blueprint. Unfortunately, we only got one blueprint out of this building, but we're going to make our way up onto the roof here, as there is a little secret loot spot in here. Let's see what type of loot we get. There actually is a chance of spawning a security breach in this little room up here on the roof, so I like to come check it out. No spawn this time. There also is a weapon crate that can indeed spawn in here, so that's why I like to come over here, have a little look and see if she spawns in here. Gonna make our way across onto the next roof. There is indeed a weapon crate that spawns up there, so we can go up and loot up. Weapon crates have gotten a buff recently, so definitely be looting them. You're not always just going to be pulling Berlettas out of them now. Tempest, Bobcats, all the good stuff is in weapon crates, which was a definitely well needed buff for them, because I was pulling so many Berlettas out of them. Here's another weapon crate up here, a little secret weapon crate for you guys. With the Peugeot blueprint number 2, we got the heavy gun parts blueprint. Okay, that's not too bad. And then a Peugeot. We are sitting on 100k worth of loot, which is pretty decent now. Unless you have a zip line, you're gonna have to take a little bit of fall damage here. Now we can make our way over towards the space travel building and see if she has been looted up. Someone has set up a zip line for us there, so that's super handy. We can take the zip line and go over onto the roof. Nice and handy. That's why I like to bring a snap hook, because this side of the map, sometimes it's just best getting around this side of the map with the old snap hook. Right, we're on top floor here. We're going to make our way down and start looting up. Hopefully this building has been looted, because I love this building. This building's really good for pulling out blueprints. Let's get in and check it out. Okay. Our first room not looted. Could be onto something. We could be onto something. I'm actually surprised no one has looted it. Maybe the other bottom half has been looted. I just don't know about it yet. Let's just keep on looting here anyway and see what we get. We have 2 blueprints so far, and we are sitting at over 100k worth of loot. So at the end of the run, I will calculate up how much earnings I have from this run. It says run number 2, which back to back, all these runs are being done back to back on the Bury City Cold Snap events. We do indeed have a key on us as well for this building. So we've made our way downstairs, and as expected, half of this building has actually been looted. Half of this building has indeed been looted. Oh, we got a little container here. Let's go around and check the other side here and see. Oh, some of this actually isn't looted. Some of this actually hasn't been looted. People are forgetting to loot a lot of these spots, man. I noticed that as well in a lot of places. On damn battlegrounds, I'll go into locations that players are coming in now of. Half the stuff isn't even loot. Right, I want to go out here and check the very bottom floor and see if that one has been looted. A lot of people tend to forget this side. Okay, let's see. Some of them are opened, I think. Didn't open this one. See, the one he didn't open. Lance's mixtape in there. That's 10k worth of loot that you're just leaving behind. Looted up a few other ones though. How about this one? Cooling coil light ammo, don't need it. Okay, a lot of these have been looted down here. That's why you can't be leaving the old containers. You have to loot absolutely all of them. Could be missing out on 10k worth of loot. But we do indeed have a key for this building, so we're gonna come in here and open it up and get it opened and see what this room is like. I know a lot of the key rooms have been buffed as well. So let's go test it out and see what it's like, see what the type of loot we're pulling out is like. It's the floor above us here, I'm pretty sure where this room is. Aha, here she be. Right, let's get this one open, the JKV. Couple of containers in here. I'm pretty sure a weapon crate spawns in here, and there's another blueprint as well, a defib one. We already got that one. That's 3 blueprints in this run so far. 2 of the same ones, unfortunately, but that's an extra 5k, or you can give it to a friend if you like. Couple of items in here. Okay, let's see. We have a bag that we can open up here, and we also have, luckily enough, security breach. Pretty handy. I'd like to see them add a lot more security breaches into locked rooms like this. Make it a little bit better, considering a lot of these keys that you get into these rooms where the rooms are pretty bad. Well, they were pretty bad for a while. I know the devs have said they've updated a lot of them, and a few of them I have went to definitely have been a lot better than what they were previously. Alright, get the security breach open, see what type of loot we pull out. 32, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Alright, we have some good loot on us, 3 blueprints in this run so far. Pretty happy with that. Think we might be good enough to go and extract there. We're over encumbered as well, so we might be best off going extracting with what we have. The majority of the other places are going to be... Oh, hello, there's another blueprint. That's 4 blueprints in this run. Not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, I think we're best off going extracting here. Alright, so I have indeed made my way down to the extraction point. We have a total of 4 blueprints on us, and we have a good bit of loot. I'm going to check and see how much loot we've made now, and then we're going to hop into raid number 3. So we have pulled out a total of 4 blueprints in that last raid, and we also have an earnings of 109,095. That is some good going. We're at 7 blueprints altogether, and we're close enough to 200k in earnings. So we are into raid number 3 here, and we have indeed got a very close spawn to where we have been spawning for the last previous 2 raids. For some reason we've been thrown over this side of the map, which works well for the video, to be fair. But I want to go to the Piazza Arbusto building this time, because this is a very good building, and considering we spawned really close to it, it'd be a shame not to go to it. So let's make our way up here. It's the Pharmacia building that you have to breach the door to get into on the Piazza Arbusto. Let's make our way in and see what type of loot we pull out of this one. Gotta go down here and breach open this whole door, and then we're gonna loot up this whole entire building. It's a very good building. Even on a day raid, this building is extremely good. Alright, door has been breached. We are going to make our way in. I like to come straight down here in behind this little desk and loot up these containers first. You can loot up all the shelves if you want. The shelves do have some decent loot on them. Ooh, a deadline. Hello. The shelves behind us do have some decent loot at times. Let's make our way upstairs. Must spawn on that container. We did indeed get a suitcase spawn though. Usually a container. Oh, hello. There's a first blueprint. Blueprint number 1 of this run. Do the rest of these containers and then... Oh, extended barrel. Not too bad. I'll take that. That's why I like to come to this building, because it actually is a very good building. Day and night, cold, doesn't matter what event you're on. It's a pretty good building. With the security breach as well. I've been pretty lucky with security breaches lately. There've been a good few of them around. They've also gotten a little bit of a buff as well, which makes them that much better. That's why I picked and there's our second blueprint. But that's why I picked the security breach, because the devs do silently like to buff things in this game. And you could see it coming from a mile away, and that's what they done. They silently buffed it. That's why I stuck with the old security breach. It gives me an extra chance of pulling out blueprints as well. So from this location, because it's so close to me, we are going to be sprinting over once again to the space travel building. Alright, let's get in and start looting up this space travel building. That's a good sign. Container here not looted. That is a very good sign to start off with. Once again, we're just going to make our way around each room and see what has and hasn't been looted. I pull out as much blueprints as possible. We're sitting at two blueprints so far in this run, which is good going. So for those who are struggling to find blueprints, getting in on a cold snap raid, doing 3 or 4 back-to-back raids, coming to similar locations that I am in right now, should definitely be pulling you out some blueprints. Like, I've done this in an hour. I've done 3 raids in an hour, and I've pulled out more blueprints than what some of you have been telling me that you've pulled out in over 100 hours, which is pretty crazy to me. It's pretty wild. But I definitely recommend to come into some of these locations that I'm showing you and trying to do this same run, come into these same buildings, and let me know, is your luck as good as mine? Have you been pulling out any blueprints? So 2 blueprints and we are sitting at over 100k worth of loot. Just shows how good these couple of locations are that I'm going to. Let's make our way upstairs here and see. Has she been looted? Yeah, a lot of art destroyed. There's one player here. I'm gonna sneak in and open this little drawer here. Hopefully he doesn't start blasting. Yeah, okay, I think we might leave him to it. Come out this way and see. A lot of this is probably going to be looted. One container here that he forgot about. Yeah, a lot of this has been looted. So I think what I might do here is I might make my way out next door, but considering we're at 24 minutes, there's no point running halfway across the map. I think I might make my way out next door to the research building, as that is also a very good building. The spawn rate on containers out there is insane, as there's so many containers. So I think we're gonna make our way out into that building now and see what type of loot we can pull out of there. I'd also love to hear how many you're gonna try out this new extraction coming out, Marathon. I'm a little bit turned off by the art style, but it's the type of thing where I need to get in and play it and see what I think of it first. I think it's a free weekend this weekend, so I might just try the free weekend. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But nonetheless, it's not going to change the Ark Raiders content. I am in love with Ark Raiders, and I love making content on this game. So there's going to be non-stop Ark Raiders content for the rest of the year. Right, we're in research. Let's see what type of loot we pull out here. Hopefully some more blueprints. I definitely would always pick the space travel building over this. That's just my personal preference. I always tend to pull more blueprints and better loot out of space travel than I do in this building. But the spawn rate on containers in here is much higher. There does be a ton of containers in this building. We're taking snow globe. That's an extra 10k for us. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'll check every little corner here because you'll be missing out on some of the old containers. They'll be hidden away in the corners. And the one you miss is the one that has the blueprint that you've been looking for all along. It's the way it goes. That is the way it goes. Make our way around here. Try find some more containers. Like a little loot goblin we are here, gobbling up all the loot. Okay, let's make our way into this room here. Look at that spawn on that. That's like 4 containers on top of each other here. Very good spot for Durable Claw as well, if you're in need of some. 109k worth of loot on us so far. Pretty happy they added the cold snap back in. I don't know why they took it away from us. I wonder will they take it away next Tuesday, now that the new event is coming in. They more than likely will. I have a feeling they will. Let's pray they get the times right on this new event as well. It's very hard for people who work 9 to 5s to get home and play some of these events, so hopefully that they get the timing right. Look at the amount of containers there. This is madness. Enough containers for everybody. Alright, so I think I am pretty good on loot. We have over 100k worth of loot, and we also have 2 blueprints on us. So we're going to go extract, add up how much we've made from this run, and do a total calculation of how much we've made over the last 3 rounds, and also add in all our blueprints and see how many we've gotten from these 3 runs. Alright, time to see how much we've made from this run. Get everything here into one and see what we've pulled out. 69k on this one, a little bit lower than the other 2, but 69k. And we also found 2 blueprints. So all together we have met. So our total earnings over 3 raids is 255,236. Now definitely you can be pulling out a lot more, but still that's not bad. Our total blueprints found has been 9. We found 9 blueprints in these 3 raids. I still think the cold snap is very, very good. for making money and getting them blueprints. That's all for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of content. I shall talk to you in the next one.